Hi, I'm Cheryl Ward, and this is Chrissy Martin.
Hello.
And today I am drinking the Rosé, Monty Rosé.
That's what we've nicknamed it.
We've nicknamed a couple of these, right?
It's Montepulciano Cherry Swallow, but we've nicknamed it Monty Rosé.
Monty Rosé. It's really nice, crisp, sweet, not too sweet, but it's a good one. I like it. It's my favorite right now. And you are drinking the Monty.
I'm drinking the Montepulciano, yes ma'am. We nicknamed that one Monty. It's a lot easier to say.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about you and your family. And
okay, good. I'm not that interesting, but
oh, come on, you're in the wine business.
Well, not on purpose, but
yeah. How did you fall into this?
Oh gosh, well, I think it was about 15 years ago. One of my uncles asked my dad to help him get paid for his grapes. Because in Italy, wineries are like Starbucks in New York. You know, there's a Starbucks on every corner. Well, there is a winery on every corner in Abruzzi, where my mom's family is. And so they don't get paid for their grapes until they actually get sold. And because there's so much wine there, they needed help. And my dad said, that's way too much work. I don't want to do it. So that's how I got into this business. I decided to help a couple years later.
And decided to take hold and say, we got a business going.
Yeah, well, my mom was born and raised in Italy, and she migrated into New York Harbor, through New York Harbor into Massachusetts when she was about 13. And my grandfather had 9 brothers, and they all had huge families. They're all still in Italy, and luckily that's who I get to work with on a regular basis is my family and bring in their wine. So.
Sounds like a movie not made yet.
Well, there you go. I'm not playing
New York over the harbor. Did you see the Liberty and everything?
You know, my mom said it was really cool. She said that they had like the bottom of the ship is where they were, and she would get seasick, so she would sleep on that first deck with the little windows in like just a lounge chair that was in the hallway. And they came into New York Harbor really late at night, and so because it wasn't Ellis Island, it was New York Harbor, the only view out on the water that you saw was the Statue of Liberty.
Very cool.
And it gives me goosebumps. So, you know, it's pretty a little kid's dream to come to the United States where that statue means so much, and to see that as her first bit of America.
So all right, so give me a little input. Obviously, you've been to Italy.
Yes.
And your favorite place to go in Italy?
Definitely Abruzzi, and it's not because I'm being biased. I think that it has what anybody would want. You look to the right and you see the most beautiful mountains where you can go skiing in 45 minutes. You look to the left and you see the Adriatic Ocean where you can go fishing in 20 minutes or lay on the beach. Everything in between is cultivated rolling hills with olives or grapes or something growing on it. I mean, that's back in the long little history lesson, back in the 20s, I guess, a long time ago, the Italian government said, we're going to borrow your land. We'll give it back. Well, everyone knew that was hunk of baloney. So they said, you know what, we're going to put something in the ground so that they can't use it. And they started cultivating grapes because it's so easy to plant. Now, it's really hard to harvest.
Wow.
So they didn't plant a lot of it, but they had enough. And so that's how these co-ops started, that all these farmers would come together with what little grape they had and come together to make something fantastic.
All right, Chrissy, explain co-op for people who don't know exactly what that is, because I really don't know. I know you said it's kind of where
just a bunch of farmers
come in.
Yeah, they come together. We do the same thing in a lot of states here in the United States where you have multiple farmers who are kind of with the same goal. They come together with their product and they try to produce something great as a team. And they normally elect somebody to run the place, and they kind of work as a group. And I think that it gives you a much better product because you're getting such diversity that you can really pick and choose from the great grapes to the bad.
I mean, you've got some fantastic wine. But this isn't the only wine that you hold, right? You import from different places now.
Yeah, it all started with Martin Ulisse wines because of the family, and I really thought I would just be done. I would just help them get into the state and go on about my business. But it's been a true blessing and a new path, and we started finding more and more wineries that were small and passionate and needed a little help getting into the United States. And so we bring in wines from Campania and Puglia, southern Italy, because they're not as well sought after as the northern Italian. And we bring in stuff from Spain, and we have some Israeli wine, and little bit of everything.
So have you been to all these places?
I've been to most of Europe. I have not hit Israel. That would be a very, very cool thing to do, but I haven't actually made it there yet.
Well, these are some great wines that you pick from, and obviously you go by family values to picking the places that you want to import from.
Well, and it all comes back to, and I'll tell you, the Martin Ulisse label is a really good example. I didn't know what to call the wine when we first started. They didn't really have labels that they used, so we had to create one. And Martin is my last name, and my dad's been an entrepreneur since he was 12 years old. He had a business where he used to sell like gum on the side of the road between the houses and the school back in a farm town.
Very cool.
So he is entrepreneurial and very business minded. He's my mentor through this all. And Ulisse is obviously my mother's maiden name, and where the passion and the family and the wine and all that comes together. And so the idea behind the company was those two things are coming together because of my family and my parents. And so we named it Martin Ulisse. We brought the business with the passion. And then my mom had helped harvest some grapes, so we put the label on the label of one of the tractors that we had filled when she was over there, and tried to keep it classic but new, and just blending of the two. And so from this point forward, when we started this business, it was all about finding passionate people who cared about their product, and we're doing it not just for the bottom line, but we're still able to understand the bottom line. We had to have that balance. So.
Now, when you stock these wines, because this is coming from somebody who's just beginning to drink wine, I know like Cabernet and Merlot and the Zinfandels and stuff, and they stock it like that. So you go look in the Zinfandel aisle and you look in the because yours do not have the same names as those. I mean, obviously this rose would be close to a Zinfandel. I wouldn't relate it quite to
but
it,
they're unique and different, definitely.
So how would you stop? How do people go and find your stuff in the
Well, it depends. It all depends on the stores. Some stores are gonna only do it by name. Hopefully, a lot of stores will do it by country. And we focus on Italy. I think that Italy has some of the easiest drinking, most complimentary wines that you can find. They're known for having big earthy wines, but central southern Italy are very much ocean, Adriatic, so their wines are very complimentary. And so, if you go to the Italian section, also we try to put up things, for example, the wine that you're drinking, or the wine that I'm drinking is a better example. It's more like a Pinot Noir.
Okay.
And so we would even maybe put on the shelf similar to a Pinot Noir.
Comparable, yes.
And that way you're allowed to try a Montepulciano, which you may have never heard of before, but it's approachable because you know what a Pinot Noir is. So we try to help out a little bit. But
well, that's great.
I think ultimately the best thing to do is find a tasting, because it's a great way to go to your local liquor store, normally does them, and do a tasting, try wines, try as many as you can. Our tagline is Uncork an Adventure. It's supposed to be fun. If you drink the same wine every day, I mean, you gotta try something new.
I have been there, done that. So, and you hold many tastings, and most of our tastings come with food and appetizers that go really well with the drinks, or just enjoy it and sip it.
So. I love it. Well, it's fun. I enjoy drinking wine and sampling new products.
Well, Chrissy, thank you. This is Chrissy Martin. I'm Cheryl Ward, and I'll get this right, Martin Ulisse Wine. Check us out up on Facebook.